how you doing? It's Henry at Mowers and Blowers. Welcome to part 2 of my LT1000 Craftsman lawn tractor project. How to get an older style Craftsman LT1000 deck to fit on a newer style one. Yes, I know it's still an old one, but that deck is even older. It's from one of those square body Craftsman LT1000s. From the last episode, you saw me adapt the PTO lever mechanism to work with the older deck. Pretty detailed on how I did it. It's the first time I ever did a really detailed one without doing time lapse. Anyway, we got a lot of work on this thing before it could be listed and ready to be sold. Today, we're just gonna put on the deck and fix some of the cosmetic stuff. The front muffler guard is all twisted and all that, and also we've got a pretty bad missing chunk of the seat, but the cracks can be fixed with black Gorilla Tape. Also, I need that cover, shifter cover, and also if you notice here, when you're lowering and raising the height adjustment for the deck, it rubs there. So I'm thinking maybe this hood was just pulled out a little bit and just push it in a little bit. But then when you take the hood over like that, and you still try to do it, it rubs on the dash console here, which means that this thing looks like it's been bent. Nothing a sledgehammer can't just pound it in there and bend it a little bit in so that you have more clearance to clear. But first things first, we got to get this deck mounted. I'm going through the extra effort this time to get 3 different tripods so that I could show you guys exactly how it's done. So you just want to push it, match up the hangers. This part here goes to that hanger. I've raised the hanger right now so that it'll clear. That's pretty good. There's this ZZ Top Shazam bar. Wow, that fit right in there. Okay, now that it's probably in the right area, let's hook up the double stack pulley to the belt real quick, because it may be difficult to do later. Okay, that's good, but it may not be on the pulley on the other side, and it's not, and that's the one with the cover on it. Pain in the ass. And this is so greasy. And this thing is in the way. I'm gonna have to fix this later. See, that's in the way. And we'll lower the height of the hanger. There we go. It's all the way down. Boom, just like that. Have to get some R clips. This is an R clip shaped like an R, sorta. There you go, just like that. This right side only has that, and of course the front, but like I said, that thing's in the way. We'll bend that back later. Let's do the other side. Okay, we're on the left side now. Here's the hanger. Boom, R-clip. Technically you should have washers in between it, but people leave them out. Especially when you're taking it off pretty often. Not that important. These R-clips will hold it in place. It's not weight bearing either. Just prevents it from sliding. And sometimes you don't have the clearance for a washer. There, that's it. And then one back here. This is the ZZ Top Shazam one. Rear bar allows it to pivot. There we go. So it's one here, one on that side, one on this side. 3-point connection here, right? But then you got the 4th point being the belt over the double stack pulley, and then the 2 in the front, so that's 5 and 6, and then the 7th would be the connection of the PTO cable to the tensioner pulley, which I did yesterday. So it's a 7-point connection for all LT1000s. Sometimes in certain Craftsman lawn tractors, there's only a 1-point connection in the front, and those are for higher end ones, mostly Husqvarna and DYT type models, which are higher end. There's only 1 bar that goes to the front. Okay, I just slipped this belt over this left pulley. It was below the keeper, so I had to get some slack. I don't know, that doesn't seem very tight. But I didn't connect the front yet, but I have to fix the muffler guard first. All right, it looks okay. I think we're pretty much connected. I just have to connect the front. Because I parked this in the driveway overnight, I was afraid it might rain, so I gotta put something over this because carburetor the mouth is right there, vertical. So any water or debris goes into that hole, the carburetor's screwed. Like I said, the cap is very vital. I need to make one if you guys don't have one. Let's bend this into shape so I can get the 2 connections on. So I removed the hood because I wanted to try to bend this bracket back into shape. As you can see, it dips down there because it's been hit. And I tried prying it. This bracket is, you know, you can tell by the way it's bent. It's very, very structurally strong. So if I tried to bend that back without removing the whole thing, which I don't want to do, I'll damage the plastic hood trying to do it. So I'm just going to leave it. It's fine. I did find that it was kind of wide. And that'll help a little. You saw what I did with the muffler shield. Just took it off, 2 9/16 bolts. The whole thing just came off. Banged it on this, whatever it is. Got it pretty straight. It was just banging, that's it. Looks good now. That's the way it should look. This is still bunched in because of that bracket, but I mean, like I said, we're not working on a Rolls Royce here. It's just an old beat up lawn tractor trying to get flipped. Also, as you can see from the deck, it looks great. That's at the highest level and it looks pretty level. Maybe a little bit low on the rear, but I might have to try to fix that because technically the wheels are not supposed to be touching when it's on its lowest. Oh, it's not. I mean highest. Oh, okay. That's right then. It's good. Yes, I forgot to paint it before I put it on. But remember, the majority of this side is going to be covered by the deflector discharge, side discharge. And this side, I'll just, you know, clean it a little bit and then spray it over with some black paint. It'll be fine. Nobody looks underneath there. I can get the paint into the middle anyway. But everything looks good. Really does. Now the true test is, well, first I want to bang this part in a little bit. This part here, because look, when you're doing the thing, it rubs on there. I think this is bent too much. I'm gonna whack that in a little bit. That bend looks or like a big bend. You know, as if somebody sat on this part to lower that, you know? It's not supposed to be like that. I'm gonna do some banging. Let's go! Let's go! All right. Looks good, eh? Hey. Deck is on there. The question is, will it work? But first, I wanted to show you a new product I got from Graycell. As you know, recently I did a review about Graycell lithium ion phosphate batteries, and they just sent me this. This is something I could definitely use. I have this with the van. For the winch, how do you keep the 12-volt car battery always charged up? I didn't connect it to the alternator. I just had it loose and then connected the winch with alligator clips right to the terminals. But once in a while, you have to take the battery out and recharge it again. Well, then I got a solar panel for it, connected it right onto the battery, and the solar panel was mounted onto the roof of the van. Well, I don't have the van anymore. Well, it looks like I got a new solar panel for that. Look at that. This charges up to 25 watts, 12 volts DC. Look at that. Very sturdy, waterproof. Here's the rear connector. So it's got a cigarette lighter adapter to it, as well as the connections for your alligator clips to your battery terminals. So I'll mount this on the top of my roof of my truck, and then have the cable run down into the bed and connect it onto my, I actually have a LifePo 4 battery in there, 12 volts. You can always keep it charged, so whenever I need my winch to pull up a tractor or something, that battery is confidently fully charged all the time, thanks to the power of the sun charging it up through the solar panels. Got a couple of carabiners, and some suction cups. Now look, you know, driving on the highway and stuff, do you trust these twisted up suction cups to hold that down? No way. Right off the highway, blows right off. So I think that because I have a roof rack, I could zip tie that solar panel into the roof rack, right? I don't really use it anyway. And then have the wire come down through here, in between the glass, and go into the bed. So here's a better look at it. Looks like it's in excellent quality. You know, not fragile or anything, really made strong. You could tell by the texture. So it has these holes here for mounting the suction cups or zip ties, whatever. I think that would work just fine. Here's the connection. I don't think the wire is going to be long enough to reach from the roof all the way to the bed. So I might have to cut this and add a wire in between to stretch it. So here's what it looks like from the bed area. This is my roof rack. And I could just zip tie these sides there like that. And, you know, weasel it down to here, but it's not long enough for this. Maybe kind of, but I still have to stretch it, I think. So I extended the wire, have it leading down here, through there, and over here where I'm testing it on a multimeter, and it's showing 14 volts. 14 volts. Which is the right amount that you need to slowly trickle charge a 12 volt battery. And now putting a multimeter to the battery while it's charging, 13.34, just about what an alternator would do to a car battery. So this is perfect. My battery will always be charged whenever I'm ready to use it. All for free! Free! From the power of the sun. Awesome! So I've got it all worked out. I got zip ties on every corner, every hole, so that driving on the highway, this thing doesn't fly off. Man, that's tight, man. I really like it. That's really cool. And always charging the battery at a trickle, 13.42 volts. Sweet! So thanks to my Gracell solar panel, 12 volt DC solar charger, my winch battery's always going to be charged up whenever I need it. I'll leave a link in the description if you guys are interested. Anyway, let's see if this, if all the work that I just did to get this old deck to fit on this newer model Craftsman, let's see if it works. Go! Well, all right. Mission accomplished. We got an older Craftsman deck, modified it to fit on the newer Craftsman model. Still has a lot of work to be done. Got to fix the seat, probably repaint it again, repaint the deck, get the lights to work. I have to mess with the carburetor a little bit with the idling and also the throttle cable, because as you can hear, it surges a little bit under load only, but it runs just fine without load. But once you PTO it, it seems like it, which means it needs a little bit of carburetor adjusting. Also, I feel like the throttling speed is not as high as I would like it to be. I would like it to have a little bit more RPMs at full throttle. And also when you lower it to idle, it seems like it's still too high. So it needs a little bit of carb adjustment. That's pretty easy. I mean, if it goes the way that you want it to go. But other than that, we still have lots of work to do on this tractor. But I'll continue tomorrow. You're probably thinking to yourself, oh, Henry, what on earth are you doing? Well, what do you think I'm doing? Gotta fix the seat, don't I? Yes, I have another seat back there, but it's in better shape. But I want to see if I can fix this one, okay? As you can see, this is not just your normal rips that Gorilla Tape would just fix. You're missing chunks out of here. So I've got this like packing insulation, whatever. I'm just gonna cut like what I think it needs with the grooves, looking at the way this is designed, and just try to cut a piece that looks like it might fill this void, if you will, and then tape it over. And there you go, fixed! Before I paint the whole thing, I'll have to paint it and then put the side deflector chute on, but I don't want it to stick out too much. So once I install it, I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut it so that it won't extend the 42-inch width. Before I do that, I gotta figure out if the lights are gonna work, all right? So I gotta figure out the lights, and then after that, tune the carburetor, and then make a air filter cover. And then I'll paint it. So it may take another episode or two. But right now I'm gonna figure out the lights. Because it doesn't have the original linkages to the choke or the throttle, I made them. It idles high. That's as good as it's going to get. It idles high on idle, but it throttles well at top speed. You know, I don't really think it's charging all that much. It is charging, but it's not really charging optimally. But honestly, look at it. After running it for a while, I see a little bit of oil right underneath the crankshaft, which means the crank seal is probably on its way out, kind of leaks. Also, the smoke that happens in the beginning, it's because oil drips onto the pipes, and then once you start the engine, the heat burns up that oil. I put my finger under here and it's filled with oil. So I think these gaskets are not tight enough or not good enough, whatever. I mean, it's not a whole lot, but just tighten it up a little. Oh, that's actually kind of loose. That's good. That's okay. But the bottom ones have to be tight, you know? You don't want to do it too tight, otherwise you'll strip the bolt and then you're screwed. That ought to do. This one should be okay. I'll do a couple clicks just to tighten it up. Homemade linkages, and runs pretty good. And we've had the battery working this whole time, so it's charging a little, at least good enough, at least past 12 volts to keep the battery maintained at 12.3, and it starts it no problem. I have to make a cover for this. You know what? I need an air filter for that too. Look at this. It's a little old, but it's clean. I believe this fits. Fixed! I have to make a cover for this. I don't know how, but I will. There we go. Homemade cover. So the way this works is the mouth of the carburetor is right there, right? It has this rubber gasket on top with the two holes for the screws. So even though these sides here are not contoured inwards to make it watertight, right? The two bolts here holding this panel closes that hole, all right? So, wait a minute, does that mean now that it doesn't get any air? Yeah. See, I'm pretty much just covering this area now. It's not going to get any air because the real one pops up to allow air to go in. This one doesn't pop up. That's not good. It's not going to work. No, not at all. Unless I get bigger bolts to be higher. I don't know, man. It's probably not going to start now. There's no air. Let's see. Well, I guess there's enough air it goes in there, you know. Pretty cool. I don't think I ever checked the oil. Wow. This oil is actually pretty good. It's not black, it's clear. It's good. Sometimes if your oil is really bad, it's super thin, so it leaks. Right? Guess this is leaking even with decent oil in it. Fellas, I don't think I'm going to try to get the lights going because there's no light bulbs in here and the wiring is all melted and there's no wire that comes out of there that and I don't even know if I want to go through the trouble of painting this thing, you know what I mean? Because it still needs that thing. Still needs that rear cover for the shifter, so it's not complete, you know? So I think I'll just wait until I get that cover, and then I'll slowly paint this in another episode. But it drives, and mows. The engine runs pretty good. Hope you guys enjoyed today's part 2 episode of getting this LT1000 going. See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
Next time on Mowers and Blowers. Later.